Welcome to the Effortless English Show with the world's #1 English teacher, AJ Hogue, where AJ's more than 40 million students worldwide finally learn English once and for all, without the boring textbooks, classrooms, and grammar drills. Here's AJ with a quick piece to help you learn to speak fluent English effortlessly.
I'm AJ Hogue, the author of Effortless English and Business English Conversations, the course. Now, use that discount code. The discount code expires next week. So you have less than 1 week to use that discount code for my Business English course. So it's effortlessenglishclub.com/business English. Check your email, check your spam folder in your email. I sent you an email about the Business English course. It has a discount code, a very nice discount for you, but you must use that code this week. You must use it soon. More news. Our topic today, we start our new challenge tomorrow, a three-month speaking challenge. This time we're going to focus on speaking. Last time we focused on listening and reading. Many of you did great. By the way, still going to interview some of you. It's just my schedule right now is so crazy with the babies. I have a lot of extra things to do with one of our babies. He has some therapy that I'm having to do with him. So anyway, my schedule's really tough right now. That's why I'm not doing many interviews, because usually the interviews, I'm interviewing people in different far time zones. So it's quite, I have to do it very early in the morning or very late at night. It's a bit tough for me right now with the situation with my babies, especially my one baby who needs a lot of physical therapy right now. So anyway, the point is that just be patient. I'll eventually figure out a way to interview some people from our last challenge, the top people. Well, I have your information, so don't worry. But let's talk about our next challenge, which begins tomorrow. Beginning tomorrow, February 1st. First of all, welcome everybody who's live right now. Our speaking challenge begins. Now, there are two parts. To review again, shadowing. You're going to count your hours of shadowing each day. Enter them at the website. And you'll also separately count your hours of conversation and enter those hours on the website. How do you find the website? Go to my Gab account. I have a link on my Gab account, okay? I'll pin the link. In fact, I'll do it right now. Let me show you. If you're watching on video, share my screen. Okay, my Gab. Okay, I'll go my Gab account. Okay, here we go. I'll pin, meaning I'll put these up at the top. Pin and pin. All right, good. So these are now going to be at the top of my Gab. What's my Gab? It's gab.com, gab.com. Of course, then it's my name. The account is AJ, H-O-G-E, AJ Hogue. That's me. So go to Gab. I have two links here. One link says join the conversation challenge, and there's a link. And then it says join the conversation challenge here, and there's another one, right? So then it says join the shadowing challenge. Sorry. Oh, whoops. I might have had the conversation one 2 times. Let me just double check this. One second. I'm just checking to make sure I've got it right. Okay, I did. Unpin, and where's the shadowing? Here's the shadowing one. I did that one twice, so pin on the profile. Boom. There we go. Now it's all set. So follow me on Gab, and if you go to my profile, AJ Hogue, right at the top, you'll see one, it says join the shadowing challenge. It's a link. Click that, join it, get your name in there so you can enter your hours. And the next one, join conversation. So let's just review again. What do I mean by these two things? Shadowing is when you listen to an audio and you speak out loud, right? With a nice clear voice, you speak out loud with the audio. The idea is you're hearing the English audio and you try to say it speaking with the audio at the same time. So you're copying the speaker. You're trying to do it at exactly the same time. Hearing and speaking at the same time. Of course, there's a small delay, right? You'll hear it. You need less than a second to hear it, understand it, and then say it yourself. So it's challenging. It's a little difficult sometimes, especially with a new audio, to hear it and say it, hear it and say it, hear it and say it with no pausing. But this will help your speaking speed, your fluency, right? Your not just the speed, but the ability to get the words out. And it's actually also a very good listening and concentration exercise. So for all these reasons, shadowing is quite excellent. I like it. Some people don't like it. I love it. So that's why this is one part of our speaking challenge. And it's a way to practice speaking alone. You don't need a conversation partner. You don't have to pay anybody. Nothing. You just do it anytime, as much as you want. So you can get a lot of hours of shadowing if you want to. It's a little challenging. You need concentration. It requires a lot of mental energy. So, if you get tired, take a break. So shadowing. That's part 1 of ours. Do a search on shadowing if you want to. Dr. Argeles. Just put Alexander. That's his first name. Dr. Alexander shadowing. If you do a search, Dr. Alexander shadowing, you can find some videos from him describing shadowing. There's a video of him showing how to do it. He does it in Chinese. So anyway, you can use the same audio many times for shadowing. In fact, you should, because the first time, if you have a new audio, the very first time you try shadowing is going to be very tough. You're hearing it the first time and trying to speak at the same time. That's not easy, okay? So just relax, okay? Because you'll repeat again, and the next day you'll do it again and again, and then you'll know it. You'll learn the audio, you'll know what's coming next, so the shadowing will become, in fact, easier and easier, okay? And then when you finally get bored of that audio, use a different audio. So there you go. The second part of the challenge is conversation. This means talking to another person, okay? Talking to a real person in English. You're going to count your hours talking to another person. Okay, very, very, very important. How many hours of conversation, real conversation with people? You can talk to anyone you want in English. That's the key thing. It has to be in English, but you can talk to other Effortless English members. You can talk to other English learners. You can talk to native speakers. You can pay somebody, a tutor. It doesn't matter. Just talk to other people as much as you can. That's the conversation one. Obviously, probably more difficult to get a lot of hours for that, but maybe you're lucky. You have people you can talk to easily. That would be great. If you live in the United States or Canada or something, probably it's much easier for you to use English all the time. But even in your own country, you can use Skype and WhatsApp, whatever, to talk to people. So conversation's the other one. We're going to use the same exact website for our speaking challenge, right? We used that was called Challenge Runner. Challenge Runner is the name of it. We used that last time for our listening challenge. It's the same website. So if you did the other one, if you did the other challenge already, then you know what we're doing. It's the same thing basically. So sign up, get on my Gab and sign up for our challenge. Let's get a lot of hours of speaking, shadowing, and conversation both. I will be doing it also. I'm doing it in Japanese. Okay, so I'll do it in Japanese. Of course, all of you are doing it in English. And as before, what I would like you to do in our Gab group, our group on Gab, please share what you are doing. Right? Share if you have a group, if you want people to join your conversation group to practice talking, put that on our Gab group. And if you find, good audios for shadowing, please also share on our Gab group. And when you share an audio for shadowing, please tell us about it. Like, say, this is a good audio for, easier shadowing. It's because it's very slow. Or this is a advanced shadowing audio because it's very fast. Just tell us a little bit so that people know, because people are different levels. So some people will be looking for nice, very easy shadowing audios, and other people something in the middle, and some people may be quite advanced and they will be looking for, fast audios for a challenge. So just share those on the Gab group. Of course, you can use any of my lessons or this podcast. All right, let's just get into the live comments and questions. Oh, one last thing. So the challenge starts tomorrow, February 1st. Tomorrow for me, February 1st. And it ends April 30th. So it's 3 months, February, March, and April. This one's 3 months. I think 3 months is better than 4 months. 4 months felt a little long last time to me. 3 months is a good amount of time. So 3 months, February, all of February, all of March, and all of April. Get as many hours as you can. Speaking. We're going to really push ourselves. This is hard for me in Japanese, very tough. And I'm kind of shy about speaking. So it's good for me. It'll be good for me too. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so Razwan asks, how can we speak in scientific discussion? There's a lot of scientific vocab. It's very hard to use. Well, you've gotta, this, for any specific, jargon, this is called jargon, by the way. It's kind of like special vocabulary. Different jobs, different hobbies, sports, different areas in life have their own special vocabulary. We call this jargon. How do you learn jargon? Well, you learn it the same as normal English. You have to do a lot of listening and reading in that area. So if you're, for example, science is very general. Science is very general. Probably more specific. Let's say chemistry. How do you learn chemistry vocab? Well, you're going to have to read a lot of books about chemistry. You're going to have to listen to podcasts, audiobooks about chemistry, and in this way you will learn that special chemistry vocabulary. And then eventually you'll use it. Then you have to talk to people about it later. Now for our speaking challenge right now, I recommend just do normal conversations unless you're quite advanced. If you're quite advanced, you could focus on specific topics. You could focus on business English, for example. You get my course, Business English Conversations. And maybe some of you could make a group that's specifically about business, a business conversation group. And you talk about marketing, your own businesses, your ideas for businesses, and investing and money. That's great. You could do that. If some of you want to talk about science, create a science conversation group and tell people on Gab. Then people who want to do that, who want to talk about that, they can join your group. And specifically you talk about that, or computers, or technology, or soccer, or cooking, anything. So you can, if you want, you can create conversation groups that are very specific, that are focused on specific topics. It's a great way to practice this kind of jargon if you have a specific area you want to talk about. How many hours should we speak in a day? Asked Ozma. Well, for our challenge, as many as you can. Right? The whole idea of the challenge is intensity. The idea of our challenge is to maximum hours. So I guess if you don't sleep, you could do 24 hours. Drink a lot of coffee, you could do 24 hours in one day. If you need to sleep, maybe 16 hours is probably the maximum. So as many as you can. I think most of us, speaking can be a little more challenging, I think, for a lot of us. activating the vocabulary, the shadowing. You need a lot of concentration. That's mental energy. So I expect the hours will be lower than the listening. Listening is much easier to do passively. You can listen while you're doing other things. Speaking is obviously more active. Shadowing or conversation, both, they're more active. So I expect it'll be a little harder to do the same number of hours. So don't be upset if your hours drop a bit compared to the listening challenge. Yeah, like Vladislav says, it's believed that 90 days is enough to make a habit. Vladislav Lukmanov. So 3 months is cool. Yeah, I think it feels about right. I'm doing a 90-day sports challenge personally. Yeah, I also like to do that. It's a nice training time for something like that. Today will be the 27th day of my exercises. I do it without break days. Great. Fantastic. Yep, you can create your own little challenges, just your own personal challenges in different parts of your life. It's a good idea. I do that too, often with exercise type things. Yeah, like Pablo Robles says, for specific vocabulary, I learn from courses I buy on that niche. I love online courses because you can repeat as many times as you need and learn deeply. Excellent point. I also like online courses better. I'm not patient. I can't sit in a classroom anymore. I find it's too slow. It's boring. So I like online courses for the same reason. And that's exactly, good point. So let's say you want to learn vocabulary for investing, like stock investing. How would you do that? Well, follow Pablo's suggestion, buy a stock investing course online, in English, of course. And then you can repeat it many times. Hopefully it has text. You can use an online dictionary, finding words, and then you'll learn investing. And you'll learn the vocab at the same time. It's a great way to do it. Yep, see, Sarah said, a lot of people already have groups. Sarah says, we have started a conversation group already. We made friends from different countries. Thank you, AJ, for this opportunity. It's a nice experience. We learn a lot from each other. See, that's the other cool thing about this challenge. Don't forget this. Excuse me. Is that while we're, of course, practicing speaking, exactly right, this is such a great way to make friends, right? Because now we're actually doing conversations. Now you're connecting with other people. So when you do your conversations, do not worry about your performance, okay? We're just counting hours, that's all. Minutes, hours, that's all we're doing. We're just counting time. If you make a lot of mistakes, doesn't matter. If you forget vocabulary, doesn't matter, not important, okay? If you're very, very slow to speak, so what? Doesn't matter, okay? We're not worried about the performance, just the amount of time, that's all. So just communicate the best you can. Look, my Japanese, this will be my first time really trying to speak Japanese, okay? This will be my first time. So I'm going to be terrible. Yeah, I use Japanese a little bit in my daily life, but I cannot use full sentences usually. I speak like a baby, right? So one word or two words together, very little bit. And that's how I will have to communicate. Of course, I can do the shadowing, but when I do the conversation part, it will be, one or two words, maybe mixing English a little bit. It's not going to be great, but so what? It doesn't matter. Just count the time. Count the time. If you count the time, you do a lot of time, it should improve. But even better, as Sarah says, you might make new friends. You might meet and make new friends from different countries around the world. That's probably the best benefit. I mean, that's why a lot of people are learning English, to make friends and travel. So this is a great opportunity. Oh, yeah, Vlado says, Challenge Runner doesn't accept numbers above 16. Yeah, so we'll just say 16 hours a day is the max. If you're doing more than that, I think your brain is not, you're going to be exhausted. You need to sleep, guys. Yeah, like Preeti says, A lot of people have a problem. They can understand easily, but they can't speak because of their hesitation. Yeah, I mean, it's very common. It's in fact natural that you will understand better than you speak. I see this with my little tiny babies right now. They're 10 months old and they're starting to understand some language, but they can't speak at all, right? So even in the very beginning, understanding, the listening ability is higher than speaking. Their speaking ability is 0, basically, but their listening ability is starting to develop. So it's totally normal. Nothing to worry about. But this speaking challenge is a great way to start activating some vocabulary. A very important part of this challenge is that you have to have a mindset, an attitude of fun. Be relaxed and be fun about it, okay? Do not make this a serious performance, okay? Don't. You'll just get stressed out. So just see it as fun and make a lot of mistakes and have fun trying. That's all. Oh yeah, cool. Now Pablo says, I will use the business English lessons. It's so funny trying to sound like you and your father. The rhythm, the intonation. Yeah, see, that's kind of fun. So you can, because my father and I we speak differently. So that's kind of a cool exercise. It's really good for concentration because then you have to try to hear the differences between my father and I, right? Of course, we have many similarities, but we also have different a little bit different pronunciation. That's a cool idea. It's kind of fun. It's a good challenge. Okay, Semenik Alden says, what would you suggest if you want to improve our pronunciation? What's the best method? I have a pronunciation course. If you want to do it free, just shadowing. Just do shadowing. Do the speaking challenge. If you want more specific training, get my pronunciation course, same website, effortlessenglishclub.com. Sammy says, why do native speakers not use good grammar? Because casual spoken English is not the same as written English. Okay, that's why most of the textbooks are bullshit. It's not real English. They're teaching you a written style of English, okay? Because the actual real English people use every day is quite different than the formal rules of writing, okay? Those formal rules of grammar are quite strict, quite tough for writing, especially serious writing like business or literature. But those rules are more like guidelines. They're very loose in casual speech. And it's very common that we break those rules frequently. And in fact, I don't know, can you call them rules? If everybody breaks the rule, it's not a rule anymore. The rule's different. Just as a very, very, very simple example, in English, that people use adjectives to describe actions. I mean, so the textbooks will say that's incorrect, right? You say, I run fast. He runs fast, right? He runs slow. Well, I mean, grammar textbooks will say, that's not right. You have to use an adverb. You must say, he runs slowly. He runs slowly. But almost nobody says that in casual conversation. In normal, everyday conversation, people will use adjectives instead of adverbs. All the time they do this. So, in fact, I'd say it's the majority of people do that. So it's not really a rule anymore, is it? The language has changed. The rule is now different. So the textbooks are wrong. Now, if you're writing, you still probably should follow those strict rules. But in speaking, the rules are different in speaking. Can we use the challenge to learn other languages? Says Rafe. Yes, you can do it. I'm doing it in Japanese. You can do any language like this. Great. See, like Vladimir Medvedev says, "Hi, AJ. We have already prepared for the speaking challenge. We have 2 friendly groups to talk with each other." Excellent. Oh, wow. Here's a follow-up. One is 68 people. The other is 30 people. So these are 2 big groups for conversation, guys, already. Thank you so much. You gave us an opportunity to get together in Gab. Man, that's great. Yes. Great. Excellent, guys. Fantastic. If you can't find a group to join, create your own group and invite other people, and others will join you. Okay, so don't worry. Okay, Tien says, "I'm learning English and Japanese. How about the idea of counting both English and Japanese? For this challenge, only count English on our website. Only count English. You count your Japanese just, privately. You can put it on Gab if you want. Just don't put it on the website. The only reason I'm doing it in Japanese is obviously I'm a native speaker, so it's not fair for me to count English, okay? I speak English all day. But for all of you, count your English. If you're doing other languages, that's fine, but just count them separately. Do we need to pay money for shadowing? No, it's free. You do it alone. That's a great thing about it. Totally free. I've been to, Ana says, "Hi from San Jose del Cabo, Mexico." That's a very nice place. I've been there. We went on a vacation there one time. Very nice. I'm going to jump to the bottom. You guys are typing quickly. Oh, okay, yeah. So Chigi Schiller says, if I were to use an audiobook like yours, it might not have a lot of conversational expressions. Does it help me to become more fluent? Absolutely, yes. You can use audiobooks, no problem. No problem. You don't have to use conversations. You can use any audio from a native speaker. For the shadowing, those audios definitely use a native speaker. That's the only rule, really. Okay, they should be native speakers. For the conversation, you can talk to anybody. But for shadowing, you're listening to those audios, native speaker. Yes, audiobooks, totally fine. I will be using audiobooks to shadow in Japanese because they're nice and slow. That's totally fine. Anything you like. There's no real rule about it as long as you like it. Okay, Carlos says, reading out loud can be considered sort of a deaf shadowing. Yeah, but we're not going to count that. We're not going to count. Reading out loud is fine. It's good, but we're not counting it for this challenge, okay? We're also not counting listening, okay? We're just being very specific with the challenge, just so that we're all measuring the same thing. That's all. You can also do other things, of course, if you want to. You don't have to join the challenge at all. If some of you, like on Gab, today I got a question, someone who's just now starting. They're just starting Effortless English. They ask, should I join the challenge? Because really I want to focus on listening now. That's fine. If you feel you're not ready for speaking yet, you don't have to do this challenge. It's okay. Just, do a lot of listening. And you can join one of our other challenges in the future. It's fine. I'm probably not ready for Japanese speaking, but I don't care. I'm just going to do it anyway. Yeah, here's Sarah following up. She says, we've got a lot of benefits from the speaking challenge. I think we will get more benefits from the shadowing and speaking challenge. I think so too. They're a good combination. Unfortunately, I can't read the Cyrillic, so I'm just going to read it like English. Iba says, today I felt the difference between when you're working at a good job and when you're working at a bad job, which I had 3 days before this morning. So the bad job got all my study passion. Right. The bad jobs, a bad job is a job you hate, is they just suck all your energy, and it's hard to do other things because you're so tired. Okay, great question here. Amine says, "Hey Jay, do you think it's a good idea to shadow my favorite movie scenes?" Yes. Maybe it can add enthusiasm to the process of learning and therefore be more beneficial. Definitely, yes. Absolutely. You can shadow movie scenes, right? You can even try to do all the emotion of the actors. If there's a famous speech from a movie, like, "Show me the money," you could shadow that. It'd be kind of funny. We just, from Jerry Maguire, we just watched that, 2 weeks ago. You could try to copy and shadow both characters, right? You could, Rod and Jerry Maguire, you could do that whole conversation again and again, and it's a very kind of big and emotional, enthusiastic scene, right? The English, there's a lot of emotion in the speaking. That would be a lot of fun to shadow. So certainly, yes, it's a good idea. Okay, now here's another question. Is it possible to shadow quietly? Yeah, it's not as good. You can do it. If you're in a bus, you can kind of quietly do it. You can even do it silently, kind of in your mind, but don't count those hours. We're going to be, we need to have clear rules so we're all following the same rules. So I'm going to say for this challenge is a speaking challenge. It's not a shadowing challenge, really. It's the point of the challenge is speaking. So for this challenge, only count when you're shadowing out loud with a nice clear voice. If you're in public and you're shadowing silently in your head, that's okay, but don't count those hours for this. Just to be fair, we have to be fair. So it's got to be out loud. You have to hear your own voice. Sarah, with a very excellent comment, says, "I have been in the United States just 3 months. I think no one cares about grammar. The only focus is on clarity." Amen. Sarah is 100% correct. See, this is someone who is telling you exactly what I have been telling you. Native speakers, 99%. They don't care about grammar. They don't care. They care about clarity. What does that mean? Pronunciation. They care about pronunciation, meaning, can they understand you? If they can't understand you because of your pronunciation, then they get frustrated. If they understand you because your pronunciation's good, that's all. They're happy. They will talk to you. They will talk to you. If you're making grammar mistakes, they don't care. They don't care. As long as they understand the words you're saying, they don't care if you're making a lot of grammar mistakes. Sarah is 100% correct. That is my experience also. They just don't care. Oh, cool. So see, this is different Sarah. Sarah Jod says, "I'm listening to the stories and to my mini stories. Then I try to shadow them. Then I try to tell the story and see how much my vocabulary has improved." Excellent. That's a nice system you have. Yeah, Dalal says, "Can we speak to ourselves in front of the mirror?" Yes. Just do it as shadowing if you want to count it as shadowing. Andia says, "Can we speak without thinking about grammar?" Yeah, ideally, yes. I know that some of you have been trained in grammar so much in school, it's hard not to think about it. But the best situation is you're not thinking about grammar while you're speaking. Maybe when you're writing, sometimes you have time to think about grammar. It's okay. But when you're speaking, just speak. Just try to get the words out. If you make mistakes about grammar, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Vladislav Lukmanovic says, how many hours are you going to spend for Japanese conversation? I don't know. I'm so busy right now with my babies. Just a lot of extra things I must do. So I'll do my best. I don't know. I'm hoping I can get a couple hours a day. That's sort of my goal. We'll see. I have to do it at night when they're sleeping. Oh, nice comment from Ukraine. Nanozang says, hi, AJ and all listeners. I'm from the Ukraine. Effortless English helps me to be more confident in all areas of my life. Wonderful. Thank you. Jump down to the bottom again. Man, you guys are really typing a lot today. Okay, that's an interesting question from Vladislav. Which lessons of the VIP lessons do you recommend for shadowing? The main, the commentary, the mini story, or the point of view? Okay, well, they're all useful. So what I would say is maybe, the mini stories and the point of view stories will be the easiest for shadowing. Right? I think those will be easiest. So when you're starting new, you might start with those two first because there's a lot of repetition. They're usually a little slower, but especially there's so much repetition, right? With all the questions. And they're pretty simple stories. So start with the mini stories and point of view when you're first shadowing. When those feel very easy, then the main and the commentary, I'm usually talking faster. I'm not asking a lot of questions. There's not much repetition. So both really. You can use all four. Yeah, Alaman Ali, good to see you again. I know a person who speaks good English, although he doesn't have any academic English certificate. Right. Meanwhile, I know a colossal, great vocab word, I know a colossal number of English teachers who can't speak English spontaneously. Yeah, I assume non-native speakers. But correct, the certificate is meaningless. That's why I don't give certificates. It doesn't mean anything. My friend, I have a good friend from Thailand. He learned English selling stuff on the street to tourists. He didn't learn it in school, and now he lives in America. He speaks really, really well. He's fluent. He doesn't have any certificates, but he's fluent. Addison says, I'm at school and I'm listening to you. No teacher here. Is it right? Yeah, good for you. Enjoy. How can I find you on Gab? Okay, it's gab.com. AJ Hoge is just follow me. AJHOGE. Gab is free. Sign up for Gab. Although support Gab if you can. Get a pro account. It's cheap. I have a pro account just to support them. But the basic account is free. Okay, here's an interesting question. Semenek says, I've been practicing mouth movements, tongue positions, all that stuff for pronunciation. I'm not sure if it's going to work. I think doing it a little bit can be helpful, but of course, it's impossible to remember all that when you're actually speaking, So if you have like one or two sounds that are very tough for you and you can't, like, how do I make this sound like the TH? Then, yeah, it's useful to maybe watch some videos and practice the tongue positions a few times. Try to get a feeling. But the main thing is you try to get, how does it feel? How does it feel to make that sound? Because the feeling you can do quickly if you get the feel of it. But you can't logically think about, okay, put the tongue here and then do this and then do this. You can, one or two times is fine, but the main thing is when you're doing it, maybe TH, notice how it feels when you make the sound. That's what will guide you. Jack So says, is it weird to shadow both American and British shows? Or just focus on one? You can do both. It's fine. You can do American and British. You can combine them. It's, yeah, no problem. Oh, here's Lisa. Good to see you, Lisa. I think like the previous challenge, the speaking challenge is a very good way to develop a new habit. After that, I'm sure there remains a need for us to keep in touch with each other. Exactly. That's right. The whole idea is to get maximum intensity, get a nice boost, develop a habit. I find, just me, I don't know, it's my personality something, but I find that I do better when I have these shorter, intense periods. If I just try to keep going endlessly, I start to get bored. Even with exercise, so I also do this with exercise. I'll do these little challenges or events or something, and then I'll take kind of a few months where I'm being lazy, and then I'll do another challenge. I've been lazy, super lazy with Japanese for a couple of months, so this will help me get back on it. Yeah, Shravan is a very good point. I agree with you, AJ. Babies learn naturally because they don't know what's wrong and right. This is positive side. This is the positive side. But when we try, we're afraid of failure. We wait until we're corrected. Yep. That's right. All right, see, a couple more and I'm going to go. Yeah, like here's a follow-up from Sarah SKS. My teacher and all of my American friends, they don't care about my mistakes. This made me talk to them without fear of making errors during my talk. Exactly, right? They don't care. Right? Your American friends, they just want to talk to you. Yeah, like I mentioned my Thai friend, like when I first met him in Thailand, his English was not perfect. He made a lot of mistakes. He had some his pronunciation was, he had a very, very heavy accent and he made grammar mistakes. I didn't care. My American friends in Thailand didn't care. We all liked him and he was a great guy. We love being friends with him. And then because when he was friends with us, he started talking a lot more and more and more. And then he moved to America. So, of course, he improved and he got better and better. But we didn't care. No one cares. Nobody cares about that except English teachers. Yeah, cool. Pohan Nebo says, right now I am a freelance interpreter. Excellent. Most foreigners from Europe, they say my English is very good. I have been learning from YouTube. Our coach, AJ Hogue, is from America. That is correct. Good. Congratulations to you. Good job. Priyabrata Dutta says, I'm extremely crazy about acquiring your accent. Is it possible to achieve that target by shadowing only? Yeah, you can, yes. You're just going to have to do it a lot. You have to listen very carefully, imitate. It's just going to take a lot of time, but yes, you can do it. You can do it. Good luck. I have a nice neutral accent, nice standard American accent. So I'm a good one to copy if you're trying to get a standard American accent. Hey, Sriracha says, this is a big challenge of mine. Thank you so much. Good. It's a big one for me too. Okay, so this is a very good question. Sarah says, how do we count our time in conversation? Because when we speak, sometimes I speak more and sometimes I speak less. All right, yeah, this is tricky, right? Because And like, what if you're speaking to a big group? And yeah, I get it. I know. So we're not gonna be too worried about this, guys, because otherwise it becomes, it just becomes too complicated. And we're saying, well, if I'm speaking to 4 people, then I'm talking less. So therefore, should I count less time? Let's just count the total time of the conversation. If you spend a lot of the time listening, oh well, it doesn't matter. It's conversation. It's still good practice, right? Because you have to listen and understand immediately and all that, and you have to respond. So do your best to talk, about equally. If you're running a group, if you're running a conversation group or with a conversation partner, do your best to be sure everybody gets a good time to talk, right? Especially the people who speak more slowly, the people who are lower level, right? Because it's easy for the advanced people to dominate because they can just talk easily. But the lower level people, it's harder. They need more time. They hesitate. So you don't interrupt them. Give them time. But we'll just use total time. I know it's not perfect, but this is not, we're not doing this for money or anything, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, cool. Like Asma's using Aesop's Fables. I'm shadowing with Aesop's Fables that we did with you, AJ. I want to do more stories like this. I'll do more of them. I'll get back on Aesop's Fables. Sriracha is also copying me. I like your accent. I try to copy you. Shadowing you, I can. Nice. That's a nice comment. Khalid says, "Hey, Jay, I've been following your podcast for almost 7 months. I literally didn't know any English when I started, and gratefully, I'm very good at English. I'm studying engineering in the UK." That's very impressive in 7 months. Wow, you worked hard, obviously, so good job. Excellent. Harrison says, "Domo arigato gozaimasu." Thank you very much. I think we're almost done. Thank you, Tanushka says, "I want to express a huge gratitude to you, AJ, because you and your confidence changed my life a lot." Thank you. Yeah, Vladislav Lukmanov says, "Why I'm still shy talking to English school teachers because I know they tend to correct me a lot." Exactly. But talking to average people, I feel more free. Exactly. This is why don't ask people to correct you. Don't ask people to correct your mistakes in speaking. In writing, yeah, it's fine. But not in speaking. Because the result is usually you become shy. Because you're like you start to hesitate more. It destroys your fluency. Because then you start worrying all the time about making a mistake. Talk to normal people. Don't talk to English teachers. Not like English school teachers. Because exactly, they're correcting your mistake. It's terrible, right? It just gonna stress you out. It's gonna make you shy and hesitate. Not good. Talk to normal people. They don't care. Just talk about a topic that's interesting. That's enough. Yeah, this is true. Ilana Khan says, "I notice many native English speakers just help during the conversation. They complete the sentence once they know what I mean to say." Yeah, right. Yeah, they'll do stuff like that, which is okay. It's natural. Irkad, we'll finish with Irkad's question. Irkad Ing says, "I can speak fluently with mistakes, of course. My problem is I don't have a wide range of active vocabulary. Any advice? Talk about more topics. That'll sort of stretch you a little bit, you know? So, in your group or with your partner or whoever you're talking to, just try to choose more variety of topics, right? So if you're very comfortable talking about your family, for example, that's good. But maybe it's harder for you to talk about business or money or your work or traveling or history or a book or whatever, right? So try to choose lots of different topics. You'll be kind of forced to try new and different vocabulary. Or maybe you'll just get new vocabulary from the other person because you're talking about new topics now. So I'd say that's probably the easiest way, especially during our challenge, to get more of that stretching, kind of stretching your active vocabulary. All right, so finally, I'll just put it on the screen here if you're watching live. Whoops. Let's add it. I'll put, some of you are asking about my Gab. So, okay, it's gab.com/AJ Hogue. That's where you get the link to join the challenge. It starts tomorrow. It's on the screen. If you're watching on video, up at the top right here, see it? Gab.com. I'll put it down here. Gab.com/AJ Hogue. So join Gab, follow me there. You'll see at the top of my profile, there are two links, one for the conversation challenge, one for the shadowing challenge. So sign up if you're not already, join, and then what do? Every day, enter your hours. So count your hours every day of shadowing, count your hours of conversation every day. At the end of the day or the next day, enter your hours on the website, the challenge website. And that the website will add your hours every day. Your total will get bigger and bigger and bigger for 3 months. And we'll see who has the most hours at the top and who has, kind of middle. I'll probably be in the middle again. That's my guess. But I'm always curious to see, the maximum hours, because I know some people will go very crazy about it in a good way and get huge numbers of hours. And good for you. You will inspire all of us to do more. So, starting tomorrow, the challenge starts tomorrow. All right, then. Join the challenge, gab.com, AJ Hogue. Those of you who want my business English course, you've got the discount code. Check your email, check your spam. EffortlessEnglishClub.com, Business English. The discount ends, right? The discount ends next week. So, use it now. Enjoy our challenge. See you next time. Bye for now.